Welcome to First. I'm Mark Eichman along with Michelle Polston and Shirley Min. We're out of the studio this week because it's a great time to get out and experience Delaware.
We have stories to share about people who do some amazing things, including one artist who has a unique way of showing off his craft using wood and a little creativity.
And there are spectacular light shows on display. We also share the experiences of dogs and skateboarders, and they aren't that far apart.
And right here on the green, we'll talk about Dover Days, which is only a few weeks away. First, your public media news magazine starts now. Let's start our experience tour with George Martz. He was an art teacher for 20 years at the Tower Hill School. He's retired now and loves to paint. He also has Parkinson's disease, but he won't let that stop his love of painting.
I've been painting for probably 25 years. My work involved from a series of paintings I did during the birth of clouds. All the paintings you see are imaginary places. They all begin with some idea that I might see in a painting in a museum or a trip in Switzerland or just driving down the road in Hockessin. The way I started painting like this was I started drawing when I was on a trip in Amsterdam. And I was traveling by myself for a while. And I would get on a tram and come to a stop at a tram, and I would draw quickly what I saw outside the window. And I would go to the next stop and I would add something more from the next stop. And I would go to the next stop and add something more. And before I knew it, I had an imaginary place that was based on 6 or 7 different real situations. It's therapy for me. It's when I get up and paint at night, I can have a very steady hand and I paint. It just flows. It's like entering a different world. And I think if I didn't have that, I wouldn't be doing as well as I am with my Parkinson's. Well, I hope they can escape into the painting. There are certain ones that I'm trying to express a certain thing, like a loneliness or a distance or depth, or sometimes they're more successful than others. Well, it's very humbling. I don't paint just to sell paintings. It makes me feel good if I know my painting is in a home where it's appreciated. It gives you the satisfaction of accomplishment. It gives me a lot of satisfaction that I can still function. I don't like talking about Parkinson's, but after 15 years of being diagnosed with it, to still be able to function and produce something that's respectable, it gives me personal satisfaction that I can accomplish something still. It's a journey. It's a sort of mystical journey, depending on how I'm dealing with things in life. Might take a different turn, or it varies.
The Michael J. Fox Foundation for Parkinson's Research recently featured George in a video on their website. You can see or even buy some of George's work at the Station Gallery through April 26th. More information can be found on their website, stationgallery.net. Now for our next experience, here's Shirley.
I'm here by the 100-year-old Rockford Tower, the centerpiece of Wilmington's beautiful Rockford Park. Our next feature introduces you to Rick Schumann. He's a woodworker who uses all handmade tools. Wait till you see what he can accomplish with a long rope, a stick, and his creativity.
I do mostly green woodworking. A lot of the stuff that I make is utilitarian. I make some decorative stuff, some kind of fancy stuff, and some of it's a little weird. But I make spoons and different spatulas. Other things, I make letter openers. I make whistles and tops. Something in the way of entertainment, which is a little frivolous, I guess, but we need to entertain ourselves sometimes. And then I make hobo flowers. They're just whimsy. My understanding is that in the United States during the Depression, the hobos, they actually whittled these little flowers and sold them for 2 or 3 for a penny to make money to feed themselves. The principle behind the lathe is that you make the wood go in one direction and cut, and then it resets and goes back in another direction. So you only cut half of the time while it's rotating. You know, you have to have some rhythm, and I come from a musical family, so we did all right with that. Wood is the other partner, so to speak. I mean, it is a living substance, or it was, and that life is stored up in the wood itself, and you have to be able to work with that. You can't really work wood. You have to work with wood. My favorite part is being out here where I am. It's very relaxing to turn wood. It's my doing it with the skill that I had developed. It's just fun to come up with stuff, you know, to turn something and have it come out.
Rick says it took years for him to develop and learn his craft. In 2 months, Rick heads back to the Smyrna Farmers Market on the second Saturday of each month from June to October. His work can also be found in the gift shop of the Biggs Museum in Dover. Now here's Nichelle along the Riverwalk in Wilmington.
Thanks, Shirley. Rosemary Connolly loves to paint. She passes along that love by teaching others how to paint their own experiences through a concept called watercolor journaling. We visit the Mispillion Art League in Milford.
My name is Rosemary Connolly, and I'm a visual artist. I paint primarily in watercolor and in acrylic. My passion is watercolor journaling. I do that by taking a blank book that's filled with watercolor paper, and I sketch and write about my observations of the world around me. It's really capturing a moment in time, and so that when you go back, it really brings back all of those memories, and it's a very rewarding activity. We're calling this nature journaling so that it's more than painting. They're writing their observations, what they were experiencing at that moment. At the end of this week, they're going to put a nice little, they'll make their own cover for this little journal that they've created, and they'll have a record of this whole week and all the experiences that they had.
We've basically been doing watercolor and photography. We went out to Abbott's Mill Pond and took some photos of just the flowers and the trees.
I took a lot of photos of animals, kind of making a storyline in it of what we did. Getting to put all the photos in and write about them, that's what I like the best.
The beauty of journaling in this way is that it's really stress-free. It's almost meditative because I talk about really focusing on a particular thing. To be able to draw it, you really have to, in order to be able to draw, you have to really see what it is that you're really looking at, not what you think it looks like. I hope they'll take that introspective idea and just look at the world in a different way, see color in a different way. Having them really look at the world around them in that kind of way is really what I'm hoping they'll take from it, and to appreciate nature. My favorite part is seeing them run with it. They really did a great job of doing that. To sit in quiet introspection of your own ideas and your own observations. That's a special thing to see happen.
You can usually find Rosemary in the Art League Gallery from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. Wednesday to Saturday. Check out their website for more information.
Coming up on our First Experience special, the Mispillion River is as big a part of Milford as the bugs. We will explain. And we feature the barks and the boards of Glasgow Park.
The flowers are starting to bloom here in Wilmington, and visitors who've strolled among the flowers and trees at Longwood Gardens know just how special it is there. That's why we love this next piece. We're bringing you the first of its kind exhibit. It's called Light Installations by Bruce Monroe. And we guarantee when you watch this next story, you're going to see Longwood Gardens in a whole new light. The exhibit at Longwood was in 2012. There are two great exhibits there now. One is by the Delaware Photographic Society and another is called Spring Blooms. Check out their website for more.
Back here on the green in Dover, First Person this week is all about Dover Days, which will happen in just a couple of weeks. And for First Person, we bring in Lorraine Dion with the Kent County Tourism Department. Lorraine, thanks so much for being here with us. Dover Days not too far away. Give us a sample of sort of what folks can expect this year at Dover Days.
Well, this year it's Friday through Sunday, May 2nd through May 4th. It's the 81st annual Dover Days celebration. So people who come down to the free community event will experience Delaware history, our heritage, colonial maypole dancing, one of the largest parades in Dover, led by Governor and Mrs. Markell in costume. A lot of neat activities, reenactments, contemporary things like we have our carnivals and moonbounce, but it's really all about Delaware history and heritage that weekend.
And a focus somewhat in some events this year on the early 1900s connected to the very popular Downton Abbey.
That is correct. Every year we try to change it up a bit and add new things, and this year we have 29 activities related to the Downton Abbey time period, and it's called Dover Days Dress as Downtown. And there's 29 free activities from historical American theater reenactors to displays, all focusing on that time period. And it climaxes on Sunday with a Victorian 1900s style picnic right on the green where we're sitting.
And how did this all get started 80 some years ago now?
Right, 81 years ago it started as a house and garden tour by the women who lived in the homes that surround the green right now. And it has grown into an event where 48,000 people come every year, so it's fantastic.
All right, Lorraine Dion, Kent County Tourism Department, thank you so much for joining us for First Person this week.
Oh, it's great to be here.
And Dover Days will be held May 2nd through May 4th. You can find more information at doverdaysfestival.com.
Next Saturday is the 11th Bud and Bug Festival in Milford, where thousands of people will flock to for the event. We take you on a tour along the Mispillion in our next First Experience.
The idea to have a river walk in Milford began in 1976 with an urban affairs study from the University of Delaware, which claimed that the river, Mispillion River, would be the best place to develop water-based recreation for the city of Milford. And in that time, we've developed almost a mile of river walk for the citizens of Milford. Milford had a decaying downtown area, stagnant downtown area, and I think the river walk going through town energized it. And with the efforts of Downtown Milford, Inc., the last 10 years we've seen a revitalization of downtown Milford, and we'd like to think that the river walk had a lot to do with that revitalization. The Riverwalk really connects the retail areas of downtown Milford, historical and the recreational areas. Having a Parks and Rec background, the main thing was to establish a place for the citizens to go and enjoy the beauty of the Mispillion River, but it's turned into a rather heady project because it does promote ecotourism and it brings a lot of people to Milford. It's unique because Milford has a river running through it. If you look back in the 1700s, Milford was developed around a river with our nautical shipbuilding history. We had to capture the historical past, and which also the river captures our future. So you can look at the river as our past, our present, and our future. It's just an energizing place to come and visit. So we're very proud of it. We got one more phase. The 9-acre nature island will hopefully lend itself to an interpretive visitor center on the east end of the Riverwalk. We can, celebrate the completion of a labor of love that took over 25, 30 years for the City of Milford Parks and Rec Department. Quite an accomplishment we're proud of. I'm hoping to sit back and enjoy it in my retirement. Not selfish, but I took 35 years to construct, and now I can spend the next 10 years enjoying it in retirement.
We want to thank Sutler Laughlin for taking us out on the water to get our pictures. Go to cityofmilford.com to learn more about Milford, and don't forget the Bud and Bug Festival is right around the corner.
Every week, First Experience is just one of the items you can watch when you check out First online at WHYY.org/First. This entire show will be available for you on Monday. Check it out.
The riverfront here offers the best for people and their pets, but those pets must be on a leash. If you want your pet to run free, check out the Glasgow Skatepark. It's a furry experience.
3, 2, 1. There we go.
Milo loves the doggy parks. He loves running around and the socialization. And we're going to come here all the time, aren't we, Milo? Yes, we are, to play with all the puppies.
So when we saw the dog park, coming about, we were really excited because it's only a couple miles from our house. I think it's going to be great. Bella is going to love the park and get all her energy out.
It looks great. It's so much bigger than most of the other parks I've been to, and I really like the locations. It's so easy to get to from just about anywhere in Newark. It's a real convenience. Oh, the dogs love it, playing with the other dogs. And he actually likes meeting the people up here a lot too. So it's great for him and socializing. Percy, do you like the park? I think you can see by his tongue and his smile that he's really enjoying the park, for sure.
Do you like it here? Do you like the park? Wag your tail. Wag your tail if you like the park. Say hi, Maya. Say hi.
The Bark Park is located near the corner of Routes 40 and 896 in Newcastle County. The park has expanded steadily over the past few years. Shirley is back with more on another part of the park that has drawn rave reviews.
Glasgow Park also has a new skateboard area. This will be the second summer where enthusiasts can kickflip to their heart's content. Let's head back to the park for our next experience.
The skate park was an idea that was brought to us during the master plan stages for this entire park, which was 15 years ago. When we finally started to build the park, we had a big outcry of the local community. The kids and their parents kept saying we really need something for the youth to do. A lot of them skateboarded. This was something that I used to do back in the 60s, and they said it was just a fad. Well, here we are, 2013, and believe me, it's no fad. It's here to stay. We worked with a special skate park designer, and here you have it. We've got an over 22,000 square foot skate park facility it's been in use now for about a year and a half, and it's just phenomenal.
I got started when I was 15, 16. We started in Newport, a little skate park they built there. It got torn down, a church took it over. But here, dudes started coming out of the woodwork about a year ago, like guys I haven't seen in years. This is set up so that you can go around and do your line one way and come back the other way. This is definitely one of the better parks in Delaware, and probably one of the best ones in, I'd say, like 30, 40 miles.
Actually, my biggest surprise was we heard that within a 2-hour radius of this is one of the better skate parks. That surprised us. We thought we were building, your normal run-of-the-mill skate park. I love to see the entire age group that's here. I mean, we've got kids that, they're on little scooters. They can't even ride skateboards yet, up to some what they call the old men, which are probably guys that are in their late 20s. So that's nice to see.
They made the free park. Here it is. It's incredible. We love it. It's really given us a place to be kids again.
The park was enjoyed during the winter as well. A sledding hill was created when the park first opened. For more information, go to Newcastle County's website to see what else is happening. Now, we have one more story to show you this week, and for that, we're going to head over to Mark in Dover.
Hey Shirley, we started the program with a look at an artist who paints outdoor scenes, and we'll end that way as well. Michelle Green offers a look at some of Delaware's most hidden places through her paintings.
I've been doing art since I can remember. Actually, since before I could spell, before I went to school, I used to do cartoon strips and my mom would put in the words for me and whatnot. Sold my first painting when I was 14 and that was it, I was hooked. When I moved to Delaware, I realized how many beautiful places there are that are just not too far off the beaten path. You really don't have to go too far to find some nice places to paint. My art's evolved over the years, and I pretty much started doing the landscape when my son was an infant. He wouldn't sleep, and I had to drive around in the car and whatnot, and I started doing landscapes, and then I never went back. I know one thing I learned a long time ago, you go out looking for one thing and you find another. There's always some other beautiful spot to go to. Being a single mother, raising my son by myself for 19 years, which I shouldn't be anymore, but I still am. And I worried just forever, but I always seem to pull it out somehow. There's a huge trade-off between, I think, being satisfied with your life and money. You know, I think you lose a lot if you go in that sort of direction and you deny yourself what you should be doing. A lot of my paintings, they're no place in particular. They really don't have a subject matter, it's a feeling. And that's what I would like them to take, just a feeling. Because it is beautiful out there. Just right down the road from you, I'm sure there's a beautiful place. I'm pretty pleased that I stuck with it all this time. And I think my art has grown a lot. I plein air all the time now. I don't worry about trying to make paintings that will sell. I just go out and paint. I just go out and make art. And it really shows in my art now. And I'm pretty happy with that.
You may have noticed the cows in some of Michelle's paintings. Those are called belted galloways. They can be found grazing in Centerville. Check out more of Michelle's work at the Station Gallery.
Next week, we look at the Delaware Art Museum's decision to sell some of their works of art to pay off a growing debt. Is this a one-time thing or the start of something bigger?
Well, that is our first experience special. For Nichelle Polston and Mark Eichman, I'm Shirley Min. We're happy to share our experiences with you. Hope you enjoyed them, and we'll see you next week.